We're starting our inquiry units now. So let's start off with talking about our DLO, and then we're going to talk about symbols today and read a book. All right, I'll go first. Today I will learn about national symbols. Now it's your turn. Today I will learn about national symbols. What is a symbol? A symbol is something that represents something else. So I have a couple up here on the board, and let's talk about them. Sometimes when we're driving, we'll see this symbol on a sign. What letter is that? We learned that. H. So if it has a blue background and white letter H, it means hospital. So if you're driving and you need medical help, you know where the hospital is because there's a symbol of this H on a sign on the road so you could drive there. Also on the road, you might see a symbol that looks like this. This is a fork and that's a spoon. This is the symbol for restaurants, somewhere to eat. So it doesn't say food this way, but it's a symbol. The fork and the spoon represent restaurants and places to eat. If you're driving down the road, you know where to get off on an exit to go find food. This green one, you might find it actually in a lot of places. If you see green arrows that make a triangle, it represents recycle. So if you look at something that's either cardboard or paper or plastic, it'll have a little recycle symbol on it. You might not be able to see that. Anyways, there's a triangle and it'll tell you that you can recycle something, reuse it. And then this is another symbol, maybe like at restaurants. It's a cigarette with a big red slash through it, and this symbolizes no smoking. So those are some symbols you might have seen. Think about where you've seen other symbols, something that represents something else. We're going to focus on national symbols this week, and then next week we'll talk about New Mexico symbols. So I'll just leave these up. I want to read a book to you. It's called A is for America. And it's an alphabet book. It'll go A through Z, but it will discuss briefly a lot of different symbols that represent the United States. The United States is the country that we live in. And then we live in the state of New Mexico, and we live in the town of Farmington. So we live in a lot of different places, but it's in one whole. So the United States is our country, New Mexico is our state, and then Farmington is our city. Okay, let's read this book, and then tomorrow we'll do one of the activities that is in your gallon baggies that we sent home. So we'll get to do those starting tomorrow. Okay, A is for America. A is for America, and I like the pictures because it's kids, elementary kids acting out in a play. A is for America. Welcome to the show. It's all about our nation. Come see how much you know. B is for the Bill of Rights, 10 freedoms we all know, like freedom of speech and of the press, established long ago. So here's the United States on her map. C is for the Constitution, our country's basic plan. The Founding Fathers wrote it, and our government began. D is for the Declaration of Independence, approved on the 4th of July. All men are created equal is an idea that we hold high. So Independence Day symbolizes our independence, and we usually celebrate it with fireworks and parades, cookouts. E is for the eagle, soaring in flight. Our national bird is a symbol of might. The bald eagle. F is for flag. Long may it wave, for the red, white, and blue, and the home of the brave. We'll talk more about the eagle and the flag this week. Have you seen the flag that symbolizes our country? Have you seen it around town? G is for Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where Abraham Lincoln said, "Government of, by, and for the people is how we should be led." H is for Julia Ward Howe, who fought for women to vote. The Battle Hymn of the Republic is a famous song that she wrote. This one might not show. I is for our independence. It's what America sought. For freedom from the English king, the revolution was fought. So independence, we had a big war for many years, and then we had the Declaration of Independence. It's called the American Revolutionary War. J is for Thomas Jefferson. He wrote the Declaration. It calls for freedom and liberty and is our country's foundation. So the Declaration of Independence is an important symbol of our country. K is for Martin Luther King, Jr., who wanted fairness to cease. He fought for all to be equal and tried to bring about peace. We have a holiday that we celebrate in his honor, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, in January. L is for Lady Liberty, a statue so regal and grand. This symbol was a gift from France and welcomes all to our land. So this little girl's falling down, but we'll learn more about the Statue of Liberty this week also. M is for Mount Rushmore, a monument sensation. It honors 4 great presidents who guided our young nation. So Mount Rushmore is another important symbol because it's carved out of the rocks in the mountains in the Black Hills. And it's really cool, but we won't have time to learn more about it. But there's 4 presidents' heads carved into the mountain. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. N is for Native Americans who lived here long before. Their culture and their history nobody should ignore. So our Native American families, they were here before other people got here. So they have a lot of history here being in our country. O is for the Oval Office, a formal place for greetings. It's where the president does his work and holds a lot of meetings. It's the Oval Office. That's where the president works in the White House. P is for the president. Each term we get to choose who will run our country and listen to our views. We've had 45 presidents, right? Is Trump 45? I think that sounds right. Q is for the questions we ask right from the start about having choice and freedom. They gave this nation heart. R is for Betsy Ross. As a seamstress, she was able. But did she sew our first flag? Is her story fact or fable? So the flag, the first flag that was created for our country, there's a myth. Was it Betsy Ross? Did she sew the first flag or was it not? So you might hear the name Betsy Ross when you learn about the flag. S is for Supreme Court, the highest in the land. 9 judges tell us what laws mean and their decisions stand. T is for Harriet Tubman, who fought against slavery. We'll always remember her most for her bravery. U is for our Uncle Sam, dressed in red, white, and blue, a symbol of America, but fictional, not true. So Uncle Sam, I have a picture I'll show you another time, but he's just a made-up person, but he wears a big, tall hat, and he wears red, white, and blue, and sometimes he is on posters that says, I want you to join the U.S. Army. So he's a symbol of the United States. V is for voting. It gives groups a voice. In making decisions, we all get a choice. And so we get to vote in November for our new president. or the same president. We'll see what happens. W is for White House and Washington, D.C. In our nation's capital, there is so much to see. The White House is where the president lives, in Washington, D.C. X is in expression. Of freedom we hold dear. To say what we believe in is worthy of a cheer. So these kids say, longer recess, down with tests, more crayons. Y is for Yankee Doodle, a favorite old-time song. He went to town on a pony. Come on, let's sing along. So if you ever heard the song Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. The tune was from the Revolutionary War, and it brought up spirits for soldiers. Z is for Israel Zangwill, who wrote the Melting Pot play. It's about people coming together. Now that's the American way. So that book had a bunch of different symbols that represent the United States of America. And this week, we will continue to learn about our symbols, and we'll focus on 3. We're going to focus on the bald eagle, the Statue of Liberty, and the flag. There's other symbols also, but those are the ones we're going to focus on. And if you haven't watched the warm-up video yet, you have to log in through Clever first, then click on Schoology, then you'll find the link. BrainPop is in Schoology, so you could go there and look up U.S. symbols, but if you click on it from Schoology and you didn't log into Clever, you have to sign in with a password. So, all right, that's all about symbols today. So your homework, I want you to, when you drive around town, I want to see if you can find an American flag in town. Maybe there's one at your house. I don't know. But try and look for the flag, and then tell your family, there's the flag. That's a symbol of the United States. When you drive around town, see if you see the hospital sign, or a sign that says there's food, or if you go somewhere and it says no smoking, or the recycle sign. So this one, pick up something plastic at your house and flip it over, or even look on a milk carton and see if you can find it. Try to find some symbols. All right, that's it.